Hello everyone, this is Dion Sol. I hope everyone is doing well. And as you see before you, we are looking at the Quest Kodiak by Thranda, Dan Klaus. And this airplane is a very nice airplane if you are a bush aviator. And which I like to dip my toes into bush aviation when I can. If I had the money to do this for real and I had $3 million burning a hole in my pocket, I probably would buy one because it's a modern aircraft. It would be a nice camping aircraft. Be very expensive, minivan camper, but it would be pretty cool, especially just like this is right now with the floats. That would be awesome. We are currently sitting in Lake Tahoe, California. And we're in South Lake Tahoe right now. And the purpose of this flight is just to go through the airplane and talk about the airplane along with fly it and go land on the water if I don't flip it. This airplane is a very challenging airplane. You can flip it real easy when you're landing it on the water. It can just taxiing with the float configuration as you see right here is very challenging because the front wheels are casters, so you have to have differential braking. So I highly recommend you having a rudder pedals. In my case, I have SciTech rudder pedals, which are 5 years old. They still work, but there's other rudder pedals out there that are probably cheaper now, and they're probably better than what I have. But with this airplane, because of differential braking and to amp up the experience, the level of realism, you definitely want yourself some rudder pedals. I highly recommend you getting rudder pedals regardless. If you want to get into aviation or flight simulation, aviation, you want to have rudder pedals in the first place. I mean, there's just, yes, you can get the joystick that has the twist on it, and which works, but you don't have the realism in the view if you actually have rudder pedals themselves. The rudder pedals, like you can see, I'm messing with the rudder pedals right now. It does control the water water rudder and the actual rudder up on top. But unfortunately, it does not control your direction because they're on casters, and you have to use differential braking in order for you to turn the plane around, which is very cumbersome, which you'll see later on in the video. I struggle with that, and I struggle with management of the turbine. I have the turbine in realistic mode. I'll come over here and we'll talk a little bit about the menu here. That's the on-screen menu here. And you can see various things right there. I'm just going to look, just you can see them right here and just go through what everything does. You can have painted liveries, and you can have dynamic liveries. Mine is currently a dynamic livery that I modified and then went in and actually painted my own. November 50 or number 66 Delta Mike, and put the U.S. flag up on top. So I did into my little personal preference there. And then of course you got your weight and balance, and you can set your weight and balance the way you want it, which is really cool. And then your camera angles and whatnot. You can slew the airplane, in other words, move it around on the ground with the slew mode on or off, sounds, that sort of thing. Here you've got some customization. The airplane is pretty customizable, and that's one of the for the $28 that you're paying for over here on the xplane.org store. For $28 on special right now, even at $33.95, you're getting a lot of customization for the money. So you're getting, I feel you're getting your value for your money. But that's just my personal preference, and that's totally subjective. But for me, you are, in my opinion, you're getting that. And also too, with this flight today, I've also bought the reality expansion pack for it because I wanted to add the economy module. Now, because we're flying today, we're just doing a demo flight. I'm not going to activate the economy module, but I am taking advantage of all the added things regarding the flight dynamics and whatnot that SimCoders has added to it to actually make the airplane even better than what Dan Klaus and Thranda did, which is really cool. Got no problem with that. And it was. And is it worth it? The $19 and 99 cents for me personally, it is. But your mileage may vary. I mean, it's subjective. For me, I think it's worth it. I like bush planes anyway. If wasn't into bush planes, then I would say no. But also too, as I'm over here in the on the web page or in my browser, you can pick up if you go over. I'm going to have this link in the description down below, along with these other links right here, that you can get the C list, which is the checklist. And I've already done a video on how to install checklists. And that sort of thing. So you can just go pick this up. I'll have this link here, so you can just download it, install it, and put it in the aircraft directory, so you can do the checklist, one item after another, the checklist item after another, to take advantage of the fact that somebody's already built a checklist by this gentleman right here, Belgoroth. I guess that is Belgoroth. So I appreciate thanks to him for making a checklist for us to be able to use. And you can see it was updated as far as March 20th, and here we are in May, the middle of May of 2020, and this was done in March, so it's pretty new, and it's also included with the Reality Expansion Pack. That's why I have it. So anyway, back to the airplane itself. So like I say, these are the different features that you have. You can have ice in the cockpit turned on or off, and you can see as I put the ice on, it puts the ice boots and the heaters in the airplane. I like the ice. I like this to be ready, equipped for ice, because you never know when you get into a situation, whether it be on floats or on the wheel version of the aircraft. You're flying along, and all of a sudden you get into an ice situation. Not having the ice can get you in trouble. Sure, you can get around it by just lowering your altitude, but if you're in high altitude operations, having the ice thing is worth it. So that's pretty much my go-to standard all the time. The autopilot feature, you have it built into the G1000. This uses the X-Plane, a modified X-Plane 11, a little bit of modified G1 out of the box default X-Plane G1000. But what I have found with it is that there is no button for you to actually activate the yaw dampener, and so that's why I have the outside the G1000. I have the old school autopilot, the STC 55 or TEC 55, is because it gives you the option to be able to turn the yaw dampener on and off. A minor thing, but hey, that's part of the airplane is the yaw dampener. So also with the latest update, you have the synthetic vision inside the G1000, which is cool, especially for day operations. The synthetic vision is awesome. Is it as detailed as the hot start version? No, it doesn't have the little path rings. I wish they would go back in and actually add the path rings. So if you put in a flight plan, you can have the path. And so if you're hand flying an approach or whatever, just stay within the rings. The technology there, even in the real world, is now advanced enough where you actually would have a path ring inside the G1000 that you can just follow the approach all the way down and land the airplane. I would kind of like to have that. And as a matter of fact, if I had a real airplane and a G1000, I would say, okay, I want that. It just takes the guesswork out of, am I too high, am I too low, my approach, and it's right there in front of you. The technology is there to use it, or technology is available for us to buy and use. Let's use it. But that's just me. Some people old timers will balk on that. Well, hey, that diminishes your stick and rudder skills, and it's like, okay, to each his own. That's your opinion. This is my opinion. If I have the technology to do it, I want it. So that's me. And then of course the water rudder thing we already saw a second ago. You just basically it lowers it and uppers it. I bound a key or bound an axis to lower it for me. The winglets, you can just put the winglets on the tail on or off. I have them on just because they look cool. Whether they're functional or not, I don't know, but I just think they look cool, so I leave them on. Hey, it looks cool, so the biggie down here, and this one right here, which is kind of cool, is the being able to switch between passengers and cargo. So if you happen to be running if you happen to have mission generator like this, and if I choose to do a flight that's cargo only, then let's say like this one right here, this is going to Half Moon Bay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and check. Let's click on Half Moon Bay just for funsies here. Where I just saw it. I thought I just saw it. There it is. Half Moon Bay. So let's see. Okay, this right here is a passenger. It looks like, yeah, nine ladies of the evening. So if I took this flight, I'd be in passenger mode, and it's 9 ladies of the evening. So that means, well, I just made that up. But at any rate, I would be having the Timberline internal. The internal setup, which is already default. That way, I'd get my 9 passenger occupancy. If I happen to have a mission, there may be one here, but I'm not going to go through it. But if you had a mission that required the executives, if you're taking businessmen or whatever, then you would have the interior would be executive, which I think is 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 passengers, because you got the one sitting in the front seat or in the co-pilot seat. This is a single pilot operation aircraft, so you can take up to 7 passengers when you're in executive mode. And then, of course, in cargo mode. Now, what's cool about the cargo mode is when you go over here to weight and balance, and as you add more weight to it, the boxes get the boxes get big. You get more and more boxes, or pilots start to add up, which is kind of cool. So I like that touch. I like that the ability to do that. So that's pretty much going through the menu system right here. Because we are running the reality expansion pack and we are on the float configuration, I have found that the doing the walk around with the reality expansion pack and toggling removing the all these tie downs get out of sync and they screw up. So that's just the inherent nature of what it is. Now I am running 1150 beta 9, but I don't think that has any bearing on it. I think it just gets out of whack. So I just basically, when I go to fly, I just remove everything and remove all the covers, and I'm good to go. And that's how I have to roll when I'm in a float when I'm in the float mode. If I'm in wheel mode, where you just have the wheels, then all the tie downs and everything are in sync for the most part with SimCoder's reality expansion pack, and then you can have the full immersion, going around the airplane and doing your thing. Another thing, a little pro tip right here. If you look down here, you see this little red circle right here, where this thing right here is current. Would illustrate that the cover is still on. That's how you know that the reality expansion pack covers are still engaged, even though you see everything is gone. So what you do is you come up over here and you just toggle it, and then you have it go away. And now, of course, now the thing is free. So now I'm going to go ahead and apply my brakes and then put the shocks back. And you can see now we're totally off of reality expansion as far as the trim or the covers go. Now we're back to the standard Thranda control. So and you can see the tie down is now it says it's on, even though it's not. But anyway, so that's how it is. So now we are in total control. This Thunder operation is now in control and is divorced away from the other. So that takes care of that right there. Everything. Now you notice that right here also as well that you do not have the GPU. The GPU is actually the connector for the GPU would be like right around in this area where my mouse is. It's not illustrated here, but I think in the real airplane it's either here or here. When you're in wheel mode, you'll see that it is outlined and highlighted, and you'll see the GPU plugged in. That would be a combination of Thranda would need to modify that, because that connector would be installed whether it be a float plane or a wheel plane. That connector would still be there in the real world. and you'd have GPU operations. In float plane operations, you don't have the GPU. Maybe because of water, that was the method, was the fact that, well, hey, there's this thing is in water, so that connector get corroded, dirty, whatever, and so that's why we didn't put it in, and that's why we just don't have the GPU available when you're in float operations. So at any rate, on that regard, that we don't have GPU operations. So once you start this airplane, you gotta get this airplane going and get this thing on battery power or on generator power, or you're gonna run out of battery pretty fast. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump inside here and get inside the aircraft. I'll go ahead and open up the left door here. We can go ahead and get on inside, and you can see there's Dan right there. Hey Dan, how you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing pretty well. Hope you and the family are doing well. And then we just jump in here, and then Dan goes away. Then we'll go ahead and close the door. Actually, we didn't want to do it. That's another little short thing that I need to point out here real quick. When you're in this walk around mode that I basically have done, and if you go ahead and open up the engine, you'll see that the engine graphics are no longer there. And I don't know why that's the way it is. It didn't used to be that way. It used to have the graphics showing that there was an engine and give you the illusion that there was a functional engine here. But for some reason, that doesn't happen anymore after a few updates. So hopefully they can fix that. Now, if I close this doors up and if I go into outside mode, and you can hear the sound changes and everything. Now we're in outside mode, and if I open it up, now you see the graphic pop up right there. And you see it gives you the illusion that there is an engine in there. So that's just something that they need to figure out why, when you're in that mode, it goes away. And in my definition of walk around mode, and why it goes away, I don't know. So anyway, we're inside the airplane right now, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing ready to go and get started up. Chocks are off, brakes are on. So we got that taken care of there. Like I say, because of the fact that this walk around feature of the reality expansion is out of track, when you're in float mode, we can go ahead and still do part of it and just go around and just read all this stuff. I'm going to just do this briefly here, and it tells you the status of the tires, fuel, tie down, which we would click on if we didn't have that problem. If I had the lights on, you'd be checking the lights, which I don't have on. And we'll just kind of just quickly go around everything. And here you can still check still do that part of it. You can still check the ailerons. And go around, boom, 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 boom. Tire looks good, everything looks fine, it looks sexy. It is a sexy airplane, by the way. It is a very sexy airplane. I like it a lot. I think it's really cool looking. All right, so we are good to go there. We did our fictitious walk around. And then we can go over here. I currently have the reality expansion pack. For this purpose, I have the economy module turned off right now. You can link it with FS Economy. I don't recommend it, because if you do, and if you have a problem, you're going to see your FS Economy bank account dry up in a hurry, and then you'll be screwed. So you got to be... The only time that you really would activate the FS Economy is if this is the only airplane you ever fly, and you are very, very proficient at this airplane. And I am not. And as you will see here in a few minutes, I will probably flip this plane when I go to land on the water, because it takes lots and lots of practice in order for you to get it down. But hey, that's the reason why I have the airplane. That's the reason why I have the reality expansion pack. I want that challenge. I want that drama. I want that to be able to master it. And right now, I'm nowhere near master at all. But I'll get it over time, and that's what I want. I want the challenge. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get rid of the steering, so we can go ahead and set this thing up and get ready to. All right, let's try to start this bad boy here. There we go. Yeah, I just barely cracked the condition lever, because if I go full forward or go halfway too fast, it'll burn the engine up. Get that RPM up. Watch if I go. Sometimes if I go too. So like right now at 617. Okay, now we're halfway on the condition lever. Make sure we're good. Turn everything off here. Put this on standby. Lights on, that's on. Alternator on. All looks good. Let's put this to auto. This logic in this doesn't work. Soon as if you leave it at automatic or turn it off, once you click it once, it will no longer be functional. So this is a problem that they need to work on as well. Now if I go to automatic, you still can't move anything around. This used to work. Now it doesn't work anymore, and I don't know why. I think it's one of those things that they forgot. Like I say, pros and cons of this airplane. Now, let's go ahead, and now that we got the sound going, we got everything going, let's go ahead and taxi light, and then we'll go ahead and put our landing lights on, but we're going to do the pulse. We'll leave our strobes off. Pitos we don't need. Pitos, we're at 8 degrees Celsius outside right now. According to the instructions, once you get below or at or below 4 degrees Celsius, then you want to kick on your pitos. So I'm gonna leave the pitot tubes off, and then we'll just go ahead. And the reason why that's significant is if I keep the pitos off, I can keep my amps down. While we're here on this screen right here, we can go ahead and turn all of our terrain on. Actually, because we're just doing a little, we can go ahead and turn off the airways. Next rad just tells us where all the traffic is, I think. System, defuel, we don't care for this particular flight. We're just kind of just cruising right around. Another thing I noticed is every time you try to move, try to do the range, it does it the first time, then after that it's okay, but then it has to load, and I don't know what it's loading. But so I'm gonna go right around 7.5. So we can go land on the water. Alright, there's our pop out. So we're good there. We'll come over here. One thing I wish they would do is they make it so you can save your settings. Like I want my wind direction to be on all the time. I would like to have my bearings and all that in DME. I like to have all this on all the time. Just because my inset, I don't need my inset. I like to turn that off. Instead it defaults to other. I wish there was a way for me to go in and set this up and configure it the way I want it and stay that way. And I don't know what's up with that. Why it doesn't do it. I think that's something that has to do with the G1, the X-Plane's G1000, possibly. Okay, everything is on. Strobes I'll put it on once I get to the runway. We do need to know which runway we're going to take off at. If I had the GTN 750, it'd be a lot easier, but instead I have to use outside. Let's see. Let me see if I can use the nearest, and then click on. What's that do for me? See, it doesn't give me information. or I don't know how to do it. Nearest alerts. See, there's no information, so I'll just have to go outside the sim and then look it up real quick while we're kind of chilling here at the moment. And we'll go over to Sky Vector. Jump over here to Sky Vector real quick. And we're over here in Sky Vector. Let's go ahead and get over here. We are currently at Sacramento, so here we are. And here we are, and our ASOS is 124.725. Oh, we'll come over here. 124. Actually, just flip it back over because we're already at 124. 75. There we go. Flip.
South Lake Tahoe weather.
314.
Wind calm.
Is our
Visibility
altimeter.
more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 8. Dew point -8. Altimeter 3014.
All right, that takes care of that. Now, one component I do not have installed right now, and that is my Active Sky. Now, let's see if Active Sky puts clouds in here. Hopefully, it won't. We'll find out here in just a second. The reason why I'm saying hopefully it won't, because that way we don't have to deal with poor visibility. And clouds not reported. So if clouds are not reported, that means there's no clouds. All right. Okay, so release parking brake. And you can see how, like I said, this thing is, I have to use differential braking to get this thing to turn. I pump my brake, and now I get the thing to spin the way I want it to. That's just how you do it with these casters. But you have to keep motion, you have to keep going. Sounds pretty good though. I like the sound. Not very loud, but I like the sound. But we will go ahead and put on our headphones now. Going a little fast. Go into beta range. And like I said, with this casters, caster and then differential steering, I'm just not used to it, and it can be very cumbersome. Get back on the center line like I'm supposed to be. See, I do like the synthetic vision inside the PDF. That is awesome. But like I said, it does not have the little triangles. Or not triangles, sorry. The rectangles. When you're putting in a flight plan, and it would come up like you see in other aircraft. Well, we're the only ones in the planet right now, so we're going to go ahead and just line up and take off. We're going to put our pitch, set our pitch up. Put our pitch up to about 1.5, which is 1.5 too high? Yeah, 1.5 is too high. It's supposed to be takeoff. That's what the TO. Takeoff pitch. Okay. And I don't have the reference up. We should be fine. Put our strobes on, look around the airplane. Solid lights. Alright. Everything is up, everything's ready to go. Green, green, green. Let it ramp up a little bit. We have no wind, so this should be see, I'm already at was already at 1700 on my torque. I'm gonna be very careful with that. You see, we're just getting light enough. We're about ready to take off, and we are up, and we are in the air, and we're doing 710 on our ITT, and we're at 1700 on our torque. Gear up. And as you see the gear up, we got a little high there. Put some downforce on the trim. We don't need to go very high because we're going to go out here in the water and we're going to land. Here in Lake Tahoe. One thing X-Plane needs to model is they need to model waves better. You can see right here, those, because of the orthos, that's really what you're seeing right there. You're seeing the ortho rendition of the waves, but you're not really seeing any waves. So me as a flying, you know, it's going to land on this water, you can't really tell where the wind direction is because you don't see any waves. Now, obviously, if this is glass, then obviously there'd be no wind. So anyway, let's go ahead and back off on our power. We'll come in. And I want to keep my nose up because you got to land like this. You land like this, you'll flip the airplane. I know, I've done it too many times. So we'll go ahead and drop it down. We'll get our flaps 1. And because according to that other one, we're calm. So I'll just slow this thing way down and let's kind of just do a soft touch, or try to do a soft touch. We're 13 feet above the surface of the water, according to my radio. Radio altitude, we're at 1200, coming down. We are pitching the nose at 7 degrees, which is not good. And we'll just bring it on down, and then I'll pull it up here. 800 feet, coming up. I went ahead and left the inertial separator on so water doesn't splash into the engine. which in the simulation we don't have to worry about that, but in the real world you would have to worry about it. That's why I just took off with the inertial separator on and just left it on. Okay, now I'm starting to see the deck. We're at 300 feet. I'm going to go ahead and pull back. I'm using my pitch trim to pull back. We're 100 feet. Pull back on my pitch trim some more. We're at 63. So we are losing airspeed. I'm going to have to put a little bit of airspeed in there. Getting in the red zone. And we are 27 feet above the water. 20 feet above the water. On down. 11 feet, 10 feet. And there it is. We are on the water. And drop the okay, now we're going to drop the water rudders. Now we're going backwards. We don't want to go backwards. Now we're a boat. Now we're just tooling around on the water. Go ahead and back it up here a little bit. And then we'll deploy the anchor. Anchor's been deployed. Get our props back to normal. Do low idle. And now we are stationary. Let's have a look and see now. You can see how X-plane is getting a little crazy there, and that's because of the oscillation. Oscillation starts to get crazy. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the landing here. Let's pause for a second. If it'll let me okay, go out now, let's go outside. Have ourselves a look. And still shot. I don't know if I'm in the right position. We'll find out here in a second. That's because of the... there. Sorry. See, I actually was... that shot right there showed that I was plowing. And this right for me is debriefing myself. See, I should have been farther back. I should have pulled back on the pitch more. I am very lucky I didn't flip it. Very lucky. But hey, you know, I'll take it. So very good. Then the oscillation is going crazy. Alright. Go ahead and get rid of this. Alright, let's go ahead and get out of here. Pull back and get off the ground if I can, because I waited too long. I'm getting my props or my flaps up. I was supposed to have my flaps down before but I got away with it. I cheated. Well, there you go. Like I said, I'll get more proficient at it the more and more I fly it. But all in all, it's a good airplane. Good airplane. Now, the disadvantages of the G1000 over the GTN 750 is the GTN 750 is very easy to program a flight plan if you go cold turkey, where you gotta, change a flight plan or whatever. It's a lot easier for me than trying to do it with a that's why in this video I'm not going to do a flight plan. I'm just going to go back over here. We're going to land. Because the video's probably gone long enough already. I was looking to see if there was a harbor. Oh, there is, right there. I want to see if there's any 3D effects. It doesn't look like it. There's no 3D models of a harbor. Nope. You do have your waterways, but that's not 3D rendered. But the airplane's designed to run, I think up to 17,000 feet, 18,000 feet, something like that. Let's see if I can, now's when I'm going to get myself in trouble. Now I'm being a little unorthodox. Come down here and land on this little lake right here. See if I can get a better landing out of this one. Keep my nose up a little higher. First off, I need to get down here so I'd have room. I have runway.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
Yes, I know.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
Yeah, I'm at 50. Get my speed up a little bit. 50 knots right now. 150 feet above the ground, or water. 80. Okay, so I'm gonna pull back, pull back, pull back. Keep on falling. No, don't climb. Just fall. There's our stall. Wings are starting to tip, and there we go. They're on the water. And we are back up again. Like I said, practice, practice, practice.
Caution terrain. Caution terrain.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, this is lower so that we can climb some altitude here. Go this way. Continue to climb at almost 10 degrees. Because like I said, you really got to watch your, I'm constantly watching my ITT and my torque. Because I'm in realistic mode and you'll blow it up. So we'll come on around here, on the other side of this mountain. Now, of course, if you lose your engine, you're screwed anyway. When you're doing maneuvers like this, you're always going to have your risks. That's just facts of life. Go outside your front door in the morning, you always have your risks. You just try to manage the risks as best you can and still accomplish what you want. Now, if I come around here like this, on the other side of this hill that we can't see right now, that should be the airport. I don't need to go up too much higher. I do need to slow down so we can land on the runway. Yeah, the runway is way over there. Oh, the orthos do a decent job. Slow down my engine here. Get my get my wheels down, come on around here, slow this thing down. Another notch of flaps. Get about 80 or so knots. My reference speed, which is right around 65 knots or so. It's about probably ought to line up the runway, huh? about 65, 62. And we'll just come right on around here and land. And I am hand landing this airplane, no autopilot involved here. Watch me break the airplane. Got about a 3 to 5 degree pitch. About ready to hit the deck. No brakes. Totally using reversers. Good idea, bad idea? Don't know, but now we're in beta. Now I gotta tap on the differential braking so I can make my turn. As long I gotta keep that forward momentum. If I don't keep that forward momentum, I'm done. I'm toast. Yeah, that's close enough. Not right on the line, but I'm good enough. Full brakes. Alright, brakes set. Everything is looking good. Everything is fine. I got two ways to turn this thing off. Well, first off, I got to get rid of the lights. And universal separator still on for the whole flight. That's fine for this particular flight. All right, so we are good to go. Flaps going up. Pump off. Auxiliary bus off. Avionics off. Pull back on the conditioner. Back on feather the props. We are good to go. All switches are off except for that one, and it got out of sync. Alrighty, mission accomplished. Well, we landed twice on the water, and we took off on land and landed on land. And there's Dan himself again, Dan the man. And like I say, because the imbalance between the reality expansion pack and this, you'll just have to just go in here and then just, put all the covers on and just call it a day. Close all the doors. There we go. So this concludes this video. I definitely appreciate you guys watching this. Definitely like, subscribe, and if you feel that my content is worthy, I definitely have just donation links on the description down below, because YouTube does not allow us to make any money on our when you're a little bitty guy like me. So any support you can give me is most appreciated. Helps offset the costs of me trying to produce these videos for you all. So this is my job. So anyway, you guys take care and you have yourselves a great one. This is Neon Soul. We'll catch you guys next time on another exciting X-Plane adventures, and we'll fly somewhere. Take care, guys. Bye.